Excellent. Here we are talking about trades.
Talking about off-season acquisitions. We've now done 4 off-season episodes. And we thought this was going to be our time off, and we're in the 4th week of the offseason for the Detroit Lions. And
great.
We are just as busy as ever.
Yeah. We think like, oh, well, off season, nothing to do, just wait. And then all of a sudden the Lions are like, no, we're going to be in the news.
And I think that's why they're doing it. I think the Detroit Lions are making all these moves as far as GM, head coach, coordinators, trades, all that stuff, because they've seen what we're doing and they like the content and they want to give us reasons to continue going.
Yep. They're like, boy, the boys need some stuff to talk about. Let's do some huge moves. And have they been huge? Absolutely.
They have. And I know what I think. I have it on good authority that they like what I'm doing now far more than when I was imitating and ridiculing their head coach. They did not care for that, apparently.
Yeah, they didn't care. Neither did he.
No,
his wife
he
wasn't
not.
a fan either.
She was not. Oh, man, she's the only person that loves him, apparently. Let's just dive into this trade. Matthew Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams for a 2022 first-round pick, a 2023 first-round pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and former number 1 pick in the 2016 draft, Jared Goff, for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford said, trade me anywhere, just not New England.
Just not New England. Keep me away from that rapist guy. Good Lord.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. We're not as the alleged pod. You can't. There's been an article. Who knows what he did? Either way, he did destroy the Lions so bad. Our quarterback left the team and said the only team I will not go to is where he is at.
Matt Patricia was literally Matthew Stafford's final straw.
Yeah, that's how bad he was. He ruined the team. He blew it all up, and then our quarterback left and went across the country. He wanted to be so far from Matt Patricia. He was like, put me on the West Coast. I can't even be near the East Coast.
I can smell him. If I'm in the Midwest, anywhere in the Rust Belt, the Midwest, even the center of the country, I could smell the BO on that man. Put me on the Western Seaboard as he resides on the East.
Send me somewhere else. And do you think he was like, you know where I want to go to an NFC team, so in case that piece of crap does go to the Super Bowl, I want to be there to knock him out of it.
I think that had something to do with it. Absolutely. I mean, when they're like, Matt, where are some places that you want to go that you don't want to go? He goes, honestly, I'll go anywhere. I just don't want to go to New England. And they're like, why don't you want to go to New England? And he goes, because football is supposed to be fun.
yeah. I want to go somewhere that's a fun place where they don't install a hill that ruins all of our ankles and hips.
You guys want a mobile quarterback. How am I supposed to be mobile when I'm working this hill every day? It's bone on bone.
Jeez, he made him run up an actual hill, and all of a sudden, we have nothing but hip injuries.
Not only a hill, he created the hill. He made a landfill.
Yeah, he made a landfill, made him run up it, and then it was just like, Galladay's got a hip problem. Oakland's got a hip problem. Just hips and knees just started to crumble. And like, you couldn't elevate a treadmill, you idiot.
The landfill being put into the practice facility should have been a warning sign that he was going to put a landfill in on our team so they would use it. And then as a result, our team would be a giant pile of trash.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet you know how he made the landfill? I bet it was all his hamburger wrappers. He just kept eating. He'd throw and pile it up. He's like, all right, cover it in dirt. It's high enough.
Yeah, but then to make it stick, it was just the tears of hopeless Lions fans. Their hopes and dreams are what solidified it together.
Yeah. Give me some Lions fans. Then I want my players to pat it down with their feet. And if they twist an ankle, I don't care. Next man up. We're a tough team. Unbelievable. He chased Stafford away. I will forever hate Patricia. He ruined my favorite player.
Yeah. But now we can root for the Los Angeles Rams in 2024.
Yeah, 2024. I mean, I'm going to root for him either way. Honestly, the Rams were one of my top other teams. I like the Rams. I think they're cool. I watched them on Hard Knocks. They seem fun. I think their helmets are neat. I like the new design. It looks.
I like the helmets. I do.
It's got like an arena football feel to me, and I think it's cool. I don't know.
And you love arena football because you're a big fan of slinging that biscuit.
Yeah, I love biscuit slinging, and now they got a biscuit slinger that's gonna. What do you think? What do you think Stafford's numbers are gonna be? How well do you think he's gonna do over there?
Well, I can tell you in 2020 what Goff's numbers were. And those were he threw for I gotta click on it. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Goff in 2020 threw for 3,952 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Now, that wasn't even his best year. His best year was 2018 when they went to the Super Bowl. He
Mm-hmm.
threw for 4,688 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Whereas Stafford, I mean, he has thrown for 5,000 yards. I mean, you got to go back a while, but he threw for 5,000 yards once. And then he threw for over 4,000 yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
Wow.
He could throw for 6,000 yards.
Yeah. In LA's system with a good team. I mean, he's gonna be. I'm excited to hear the media talk about him.
Yeah. And because so many people haven't watched him play because so many Detroit games are not worth nationally televising. It'll be fun. And he's going to be good. He's been great. I think he's still going to be great for the Detroit community.
I think so too. Yeah, I think he's gonna be great for the community. I can't wait to put him. He's in a big market now. He's getting the spotlight. I have a friend. He's a he's an Eagles fan, and he's
Who
always
is it?
been like, it's Jack Comstock. He's a comedian.
Love Jack Comstock. Very funny.
You know Comstock? Yeah.
Not at all.
But he's always be like, he's like, whatever, man, Stafford's trash. I think he's the reason he's holding you back. Now he's been like, Jack, you're an idiot. He's the reason that we're even relevant.
And how is a Philadelphia fan calling any quarterback trash? You have Carson Wentz and you're hoping you hit on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, coming from a Phillies fan. But so I'm excited. There's so many people like that. And you hear all the time. And I'm just excited to put Stafford, big market team, spotlight, and then be like, oh, okay, when he's on a great team, yeah, he is a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's going to take him far.
I mean, especially when he can put up points, as he's proven in Detroit, and he's got a defense that can stop people from doing the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what the Rams are doing. It's a very, like, they know that they have a window on Aaron Donald. They know where their windows are, and they're like, well, if we can upgrade our quarterback position, even by a few, from a 15 to a 10.
It's crazy, though, what the Rams are doing because it's very unorthodox. They haven't made a first-round pick since 2016 when they traded a boatload to go up and get Jared Goff. And now they won't be picking until 2024. They just don't get – their window is what, 2 to 4 years tops?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're in the window, which is Stafford's window too.
Because their salary cap, I think it's something like I could be wrong. It's a very high percentage. I want to say I recall reading 70% of their cap. It could be slightly lower, but it's definitely over 50. Is tied up in Stafford, Donald, and Jalen Ramsey. I mean, you can't sustain a winning team like that. So your window is now.
Yeah. So they got 2 years, which is Stafford's contract. And he's on a solid contract.
Yeah, it's very team friendly, but it's still up there for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's better than what they had.
All right, so we know, we love Stafford. We're happy to see him go somewhere where he's got a chance. I can only imagine that Kelly Stafford is going to become some reality television star. She loves the Instagram. She loves the social media. She's going to love that spotlight. She's going to love that spotlight. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about the trade for the Lions?
And then he walks away.
I put on the space heater, and I'm getting all hot.
Now tell me, what do you think about this? All right. That's a new podcast. What was the podcast? Tell me, what do you think about this? And then you just leave, and it's just the person alone for an hour. I think it was a great trade. I think it was a heck of a haul. Let's I know we'll talk about what other offers were later. Let's wait on that because there were a lot of other offers, some actually better than.
Do you think? I don't know. I looked at some of them and I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah. What do you think? Well, let's just get into it.
Let's talk now. We just started.
Okay. What do you think was better?
I think the Carolina one could have been better. It's
number 8 this year and a late round pick is what I'm reading.
A top 10 first round pick. We get 7 and 8. and then a late round.
Well, now we have 7 and then 2 firsts and a third, which would be considered an early round.
True, but I mean, I guess it depends. Is it going to be, to me, I think it's going to be, our 7, and then next year we get a first and, 32, 32, the very last pick of the
Sure.
third.
Sure. But they could, I mean, that's the thing about those future picks is we don't know where they're going to be. We don't know even if they did get any picks this year, if they would hit on them. That said, I do like the idea of future picks because it seems as if Brad Holmes is banking on the fact that the world is going to go back to normal and they can go back to their scouting processes. Whereas this particular draft, you've got so many players out there, especially blue chip players that are being heralded as first round picks that have had either a shortened season or full on opted out of the season. And there is no combine this year. You're hoping for some pro days, but everything's virtual. It's like,
that's a good point.
dip
Yeah,
your
it's a
toe
tough
in.
year to scout, and maybe he was like, you know what? Let's take we can't scout very well this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some later ones. That's a good point. I didn't think about the lack of scouting he's had and the
Yeah.
shorter seasons. Yeah,
And
some of them are.
that's where he makes his money. That's where he butters his bread, hands
Mm-hmm.
it over to the quarterback so we can sling that biscuit.
Yeah.
Should
So
we change the name of this podcast to Sling That Biscuit? Slinging the Biscuit?
or
Slinging
biscuit
Biscuit?
slingers.
Biscuit Slingers. Maybe.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, okay. When you put it that way, with the lack of scouting and the COVID, maybe the top 10 pick from Carolina wouldn't be as good. Yeah, as later, and sure, things could happen. Who knows? Maybe somebody goes down for the Rams and they get, oh crap, and they have to wait a year, and then we get a high first round out of them.
That's another thing. Now we have all this draft capital. And as Brad Holmes has been an advocate in the past, he has not only been an advocate for Jared Goff, but he has signed off on some of those blockbuster trades that LA has made because they're like, well, who would you rather have, an unknown or Jalen Ramsey? Who would you rather have, an unknown or Brandon Cooks? And he's willing to part with picks. It's interesting to think that now that we do have Jared Goff, who we'll dive into some specifics later as to what we can maybe expect for him as a Detroit Lion. We don't pick a quarterback at 7 this year. Maybe you go and you get Micah Parsons at 7, or you could potentially trade back because LA got Stafford. Washington did not. Chicago did not. Carolina did not. New Orleans wasn't in the talks, but they need a quarterback. New England did not. Who else? I mean, all those teams could trade up to 7, and we could trade back, hypothetically getting a between 15 and 28 pick in the first round this year, maybe a day 2 pick, and potentially another first round pick next year.
Yeah, I do like that scenario. And honestly, that might be the move. That might be the play. Trade down, get more capital for the next year. Because he wants to scout some more and see what's going on. I don't know who you're going to trade down with.
I mean, Washington football team has an easy out with Alex Smith. Indianapolis has been very vocal about wanting a quarterback, so maybe they hop up to get one. It seems it's not official.
Trade up.
Oh yeah.
That would cost them a boatload.
That would cost them potentially all of the above. A day 2 pick, a future first round pick, and a pick swap this year. It's not confirmed, but Drew Brees going to retire. New England needs one at 15, and Chicago needs one as well.
Yeah. I don't see us. Well, I don't know. Maybe we do trade with Chicago. Division, you always don't want to help those guys. Screw them.
I don't know that it would be necessarily helping them, though, because, I mean, God, to get a pick from Chicago coming up to get a rookie quarterback, I mean, unless they decide to keep Trubisky or Foles and play him behind him, that could be good for a draft pick next year. We can have 3 first-round draft picks next year.
Oh, there's nothing Lions fans love more than draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, do we love picks. We don't get rings, but picks are our rings.
And the last time we had 2 firsts were when we took Sue and Javid Best, so it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and before that, I believe it was Stafford and Pettigrew.
Did we trade back in to get Pettigrew that year?
Yeah, Pettigrew was the first round, I believe.
But was he I'm going to look and see, because I don't think... Maybe you're right. We traded back in to get him? I don't know.
Or maybe we had 2 firsts. He might have been from the Roy Williams trade.
He was from the Roy Williams trade.
Yeah, which was the first round, I believe.
Yep. And he was drafted first round 20th of the 2009. You're right. So 2009, and then after that, was Sue before?
Sue was after.
Nagama against Sudagru. That's what mine says. I put it in wrong. Sudagru.
Sudagru?
Yeah.
It sounds Japanese. Sudagru.
Well, I agree. I love this. I love this trade. People are all up in arms because we got Jared Goff, but I mean, listen,
I don't mind.
We talked about it. It's 4 weeks into the offseason so far, and the Super Bowl hasn't even played yet. This painting is far from done. It's just squiggles on a canvas at this point.
Who knows? We could still trade Goff.
Now, I'm wondering, because I know that we are on for like a $40+ million dead cap hit if we cut him. I don't know if that happens if we trade. Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I think it does, but I'm not sure.
We still get hit. But also, if we're going into rebuild and we get more draft capital, take a money hit, make the trade again. There was interest in Goff.
And that's the thing. I wonder if we can trade him, because all of those teams for 2 years, that's the thing that I don't understand why everybody's so upset about. The guy got to a Super Bowl. Okay. Yeah. He has been to 2 Pro Bowls, and he's got I think you get hit for $8.5 million dead cap in 2023 if you cut him. So it's a no risk after 2 years.
Not at all. Yeah, 2 years we're out. No big deal.
He could very well help Indianapolis go into the deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, we could trade. They're ready now. Trade him in a couple years. Yeah, we could trade him now. I think it's great. It's such a good
New Orleans.
Deal.
He's not much different than as far as mobility goes than Drew Brees.
Yeah, he's not.
2
I don't
years?
think. I think his biggest knock is he's not the smartest guy.
He's not the smartest guy, but he's not,
because he did not know where the sun rises or sets.
He does kind of look. He does have a glaze over his eyes, like he's in a constant state of concussion.
Yeah. He's a fairly. Did you see that? Do you remember seeing him not knowing where the sun rises?
No.
Yeah, it was on Hard Knocks. They asked him like sun rises. He goes, "Wait, where does it rise? Is this like he didn't know where the sun rises or sets." But he's not. I think he's just not a smart guy. But he can sling a biscuit, and he kind of looks like the actor, the Notebook guy,
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, he's got.
He's. I could see where people would think. I mean, he's definitely got a face that is acceptable for a billboard.
Yeah, he's got a handsome Ryan Gosling face. Pretty dumb, throws far. It's not a bad trade.
It's not a bad trade. Everyone's all up in arms about it. I'd like to compare some things between Stafford and Goff. Okay.
Let's hear some comparisons.
Okay. Goff has been in the league for 5 seasons. Stafford for 12. They were both the number 1 overall pick. Over the course of their career, Stafford's completion percentage, 62.6%. Goff, 63.4%.
It's better percentage.
Over the course of 12 years, Matthew Stafford has 282 touchdowns. Over the course of 5, Jared Goff has 107.
He's on pace to have more.
On pace, yeah. Interceptions, 144 for Stafford in his career, 55 for Goff. Now, that number is particularly interesting because he really started turning the ball over these past 2 years. In 2000,
past couple of years, he started to loosen up. I don't know what happened.
In 2020, he had 13 interceptions, which was 4th in the league. In 2019, he had 16 interceptions, which was 4th in the league. He also lost 5 fumbles in 2019 and 4 fumbles in 2020. So we're looking at 17 and 21 turnovers in the last 2 years. So that's a lot.
Right.
His rating, though, over the course of his career, 91.5, whereas Stafford is an 89.9.
So he's a better rating.
Yep. Yeah. Stafford's rushed for 14 touchdowns. And Goff is rushed for 10. I mean, that's very heavily number skewed. And we'll get into some situational stats in a little bit, but Jared Goff is very good in the red zone. It's where he's his best.
He's a red zone guy.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford, 0 Super Bowl appearances, 0 playoff wins in 3 games played, 0 division titles, 2 seasons with double-digit wins, and 1 Pro Bowl appearance. Jared Goff, 1 Super Bowl appearance, 3 playoff wins of 6 playoffs played, 2 division titles, 3 seasons with double digits in less than half the time, and 2 Pro Bowl appearances. His resume is better than Matthew Stafford. Now, Do not misunderstand me. I'll take Matthew Stafford every single day of the week over Jared Goff.
Right. Yeah. He's our guy. He's a leader. Goff arguably could be a system guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard reports that he had a hard time making reads, and McVay was mostly doing the work. Like, hey, this is how the system's going to break down. He'll be open, throw to him.
Well, it seems too that the McVay is very much a coach where it's like the player needs to adapt to the scheme, and I think McVay may have been asking Goff to be doing a little more than he was capable of.
Yeah, like we've established, he's not a bright individual.
Mm-mm.
You know, he's a pretty guy, and he's a little dumb.
He also always looks like the way he breathes, it looks like his nose is perpetually plugged.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a mouth breather.
Bit of a mouth breather. He reminds me of Eli Manning in that regard. But hey, Eli Manning won a Super Bowl.
That's right. You know, mouth breathers can win too.
Now, here's something interesting regarding the comparison between Goff and Stafford in their first 5 years. Okay.
Stafford's first 5 years weren't great.
No, he had his rookie year, he had 13 touchdowns and 20 interceptions in 10 games played. Goff's rookie year, 5 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 7 games played. The following year, Stafford got hurt, so it's really tough to compare their year 2. But in Goff's year 2, he threw for 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions for 100 rating. That's his second year.
That's good.
That's the first year that McVay was there. So like where Goff might not be the smartest guy, he executed McVay's scheme. Everybody's down on him. He did it.
He can pull it off. I guess the argument is Stafford smarter, a little bit better to pull it off, better than he can.
Nowadays, absolutely. But we're looking at a 7-year difference as far as playing experience. In their third year, Stafford had a banger year. That's when he threw for 5,000 yards, 5,038 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and a 97.2 rating.
Was that the year where everyone started to notice the Lions and Calvin and
because we had a great defense and we had a little bit of a supporting staff.
Calvin's catch radius is a garage. Do you remember that graphic?
Yeah, that year.
He can catch a garage.
Calvin Johnson's year would have been much better if he'd got some corporate sponsorship with like LiftMaster or something.
Yeah. It was. I just remember the garage comparison.
Yeah, and that's when they started with all those next gen stats. So you had Calvin Johnson standing in front of a garage door.
Yeah, they showed him like he was in a garage, like Photoshop catching.
But in the third year for Jared Goff, whereas Matthew Stafford had those banger numbers, Jared Goff's best year was his third year. He threw for 4,600, almost 4,700 yards, 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and 101.1 rating. He had a better rating than Stafford. He had less interceptions than Stafford. And he wasn't that far off. He was 300 yards off his passing, and he did throw 9 touchdowns less than Stafford. But I mean, that's comparable.
Yeah, sure. It's like very it's arguably slightly better. And also, he didn't have a garage to throw to.
Yeah.
You know, he had a couple he had like a studio apartment and a mid-sized sedan.
Yeah, that was the year they had Cooks, who's like a sports car. That's a compact car, you know. It's fast.
Yeah, he didn't have, a double-wide trailer to throw the ball down to.
A double-wide trailer.
In a dang Fiat.
They both fell off in their fourth year. Well, they didn't fall off. They still played well, but they didn't perform as well. In 2012, Matthew Stafford threw for 4,900 yards, but he only threw for 20 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, had a 79 rating. In Goff's fourth year, he threw for 4,600 yards again, threw for 22 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. More touchdowns, less interceptions, and he had a better rating than Stafford at 86.5. And then in their fifth year, Stafford's still slinging that biscuit, 4,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, 19 interceptions, and an 84 rating. His yards weren't up there, but Goff in his fifth year, 2,900 yards, 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and a 90 rating.
And the argument you can make also is Stafford, a lot of those numbers were pumped up during garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were always playing from behind.
Statfew Padford is what a lot of people call him.
I
He
know, I've
likes to
heard
pad
it.
his
Yep.
stats, but
Did I like it? No. But in
he
this comparison to Goff, I'm just saying that is a thing. I don't think Goff wasn't playing from behind in garbage time that much.
no, he's and listen. I want to be clear again. I want Stafford more than Goff, but to take Goff for the addition of 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick, in a time where we have a brand new coach, a brand new general manager, a brand new direction, I needed something to be optimistic about, and this is it.
It is a good deal, and he's young. He's a young guy, and we need a few years to get everything in order. We're not there yet. We can't. Stafford's ready now. We don't have 2 years.
No.
We need
and I mean,
3.
even if we do have 2 years, if what we draft a quarterback this year at 7, say we end up taking a Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, or a Trey Lance, then what's the worst that could happen? We have a quarterback competition, and Goff wins the quarterback competition. The rookie gets some much needed time learning behind our current starter. The other side, yeah, he gets to sit.
Yeah.
The other side, Goff loses the quarterback competition. We have a rookie quarterback coming in to start our season on a rookie deal, and we have arguably the best backup quarterback in the league, and certainly the most expensive for 2 years.
Yeah, for 2 years. Yeah, and if he does beat him, we have a rookie on the rookie deal playing better than Jared Goff, which is a number 1 overall pick.
Realistically, any rookie is going to be more exciting than Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff should probably settle into the idea that maybe he is a game manager.
Alex Smith. Possibility. Which is okay. I mean, we can work with that. Our offensive coordinator is a running guy. He likes to run. So, you put a run-focused team with a game manager in Goff who can also do it. If not, if he doesn't need to manage, he can actually throw the ball for a lot of yards. So
that's where Goff had the most of his success too, was when off the play action, when Gurley was just rumbling, stumbling, bumbling for the old Los Angeles Rams.
And if Swift is our Gurley, I like to call him Manly.
He likes it when people do that. That's what I've heard.
It's Todd Manley to you.
So here's where Goff, I'm looking at some situational stats, particularly from what appears to be, this year. Goff, 73% completion percentage from attempts 1 through 10 yards. He is the worst throwing from 11 to 20. Those mid-range routes, he's not good. That's where he has his most interceptions, his fewest touchdowns, and his worst completion percentage. But then when you go over 20 yards, from 20 to 30, he's 69% completion. He's got 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And then over 30, he's 66.5. So he can sling it, but those mid routes are bad.
He's no good with the mid. So he's actually built for this offensive scheme. If it's going to be run, play action, deep pass, that's what he does.
Yeah. And maybe those shorter passes, I think as a game manager should, those passes should be an extension of our run game. Yeah.
Yeah. He's essentially, those numbers are built for what the scheme should be. Play action. If we keep Kenny Galladay, knock on a wood.
Is corkwood? Is corkboard wood?
No, not really. I think this is wood. Okay.
You didn't take the classic old dad joke of knocking on your head?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on.
You knocked on your penis.
Yep. Wood.
You went depraved bachelor.
Heck yeah. I love Honolulu blue humor.
If you guys don't know this about Jeff Scheen on Reddit, he's at / Honolulu blue balls.
But yeah, I think it's gonna play well for us.
We're gonna be able to be competitive, whereas everybody thought like, okay, we're just tanking. Goff is going to keep us competitive.
And let's talk competitive. And he gets to learn under Mark Brunell.
A mentor who's like, he's just been a mentor of quarterbacks at the combine for like the past 10 years.
Has he?
Yeah, that's what he's coaches a high school team. And then he goes to the combine every year and mentors young quarterbacks like, hey, listen, I know you can throw the ball. I know you gotta. I know you can hurl it a mile. I know you can sling that biscuit a mile down the field. But here's some of the questions you need. Here's the mentality you need to have, which
Really?
could be great considering Goff wasn't wanted in Los Angeles, and he's gonna need a rewiring because I'm sure emotionally he has just been jacked up.
Oh yeah, he's a sad man right now. He is. He needs Mark Brunell to be like, come here, let's talk about it, buddy.
Do you
Let's talk to
think
Papa Mark.
Do you think McVay ever made Jared Goff so sad that Jared Goff cried? And with that perpetually plugged nose, just imagine all the boogers that come when
God,
Jared Goff
gross.
cries.
I did see a tweet about Goff that was like, it hurt my feelings because it was also a huge insult to Detroit. But it was boy, the Rams just sent Jared Goff to the winter wall. The what is it called? The Game of Thrones wall.
They're taking the black. It's the Night's Watch.
Yeah, he got sent to the Night's Watch. I was like, Jesus, all right, I know we're up north, but come on.
That's a Brit. You know what? Bevel is gone, and we called him Littlefinger, and now we're making another Game of Thrones comparison to Detroit being the Wall, and we're the Night's Watch.
Yeah. Goff got sent to the White Watch or the Night's Watch, which hey, that's good because look what happened to the main character and stuff. Maybe he is our Snow, our Jon Snow.
I would also we're talking about I tweeted this once and I wanted to hear what you think. I think Jon Snow would really be into Nirvana.
Yeah, probably, I guess.
He's just a brooding dude, and you know, you listen to Nirvana, it's like this is right up Jon Snow's alley. Like if Jon Snow had earbuds during battle, he'd be listening to like All Apologies.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when he'd be pillaging and rape me.
Yeah, Daenerys Stormborn is coming in during that castle scene where they first get it on, and to set the mood, he puts on Nirvana's "Rape Me."
Good Lord.
And it was Game of Thrones, so they had access to whips and chains. I mean, they were abundant.
And they're all over the dang place. You can pick one off the ground.
So we were talking about Jared Goff maybe needing to get into the mold of being a game manager. I would like to discuss a comparison of another game manager who proved fruitful. Very similar situation to Jared Goff, in my opinion. A number one pick, had some success with his drafting team, fell out of favor, was moved, signed to a unfavorable extension, and they were competitive every year. I'm talking about Alex Smith.
Yep, I know it. Alex Smith, the man with one foot.
The man with one foot, drafted number one by the San Francisco 49ers, fell off, and then they went to he went to Kansas City in 2013, where they went 11-5, and then in 14 they signed Alex Smith to a $94 million 4-year extension. And in 2014 they went 9-7. In 2015 they went 11-5. In 2016 they went 12-4. 2017 they went 10-6. In that time, they drafted Patrick Mahomes and let him sit for a year or so, while Alex Smith handled things and kept them competitive.
So are you suggesting we are following the Chiefs' route?
I think I mean if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and if it's working, buy it.
It is very similar. It's very buy it.
I don't know.
It is a very similar comparison. It's totally game manager, draft and sit, and all the successful quarterbacks: Patrick Mahomes,
Aaron Rodgers,
Baltimore's
Lamar Jackson,
all sat for about a year.
Yeah, and it's not unheard of either, because a similar argument could be made for Ryan Tannehill leaving Miami and going to Tennessee and resurrecting his career. A change of scenery often benefits quarterbacks that are considered to be in their prime.
Yeah. And maybe this lights a fire under his butt and he is just pissed off at McVay.
But and notice also that both those quarterbacks, Smith, I cannot stress enough, and Tannehill, are both game managers who, based on the success of their running game, because who they have, Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson, Jamal Charles, they would sling that biscuit deep based on the running game that would open them up. That's what Goff needs to do, at least for the next 2 years.
Yeah. They're doing it with Henry. Yeah, they're doing it Yeah, they were doing with those Jamal Charles and Lynn, like in the last episode, just builds running games.
And he grills.
And he grills. Yeah, he grills while he smokes cigars, and then he builds a running game. So
it's funny because
this is the
Anthony
mold it
Lynn,
looks like we're going for.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to go. I think with Goff there, and they've been very crystal clear that they want to run the ball. That's the blue collar mentality they want in the black and blue division. It's interesting that Anthony Lynn grills food and Dan Campbell grills his players to find out what makes them tick.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, he's like, yeah, hey, let's grill you, and also wear some longer shorts. I can see your kneecaps, and I'm salivating.
So let's call him, if he works out at 26 years old, Jared Goff is a franchise type quarterback.
Yep.
If he does not, we have him for 2 years, and he is a bridge quarterback. Of the available free agents coming, who's a better bridge quarterback than Jared Goff? I understand his contract is atrocious, but who's a better bridge than Jared Goff?
I mean, the other one I can think of is maybe Jameis Winston.
Yeah, another former number 1 pick who busted.
That's another one. Who else can I think of? I was thinking Cam Newton gets hurt.
And he doesn't seem to be able to throw it anymore. I mean, why couldn't he throw it in New England?
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Foles. Yeah, I think Goff was probably the best move.
And Goff is the best move. We got 2 first-round picks for him.
Yeah, we got 2 first-round picks. We can get out in 2 years. Do you think we draft a quarterback this year? I don't think so now.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but it depends on who they love. Dan Campbell came out yesterday and said, we're not going to reach for a quarterback that we are not in love with. So it depends on who's there. It depends on who they love. They're saying that next year's quarterback class isn't so deep, but you know what? There's a possibility that they're not looking in the first round because Brad Holmes seems to think that, someone like Jamie Newman out of Wake Forest / Georgia has all these physical tools and just needs to be shined up bright. And it could take a year or two. So, I mean, maybe it's not a first round quarterback.
So maybe we do draft one in the 2nd or 3rd and sit him for 2 years.
Yep.
And let him learn under Mark Brunell and be like, hey, you're talking to me for 2 years, baby. Tell me about your family.
Hey, I don't want to, let's not go out for a beer, but I've got some herbal tea. Mark Brunell strikes me as like, let's share some herbal tea and get to know each other.
Yeah. Let's sit down. We'll have a green tea, we'll get some garlic bread, and I want to hear about you. Because this team is now, the amount of players that are on our staff now is it was getting to be too much for me. I was like, geez Louise, this is a team for the players, by the players. We have nothing but players. It's like, dude, we kind of, I don't know, maybe, which is why I was excited about the Dom Capers signing, Granted, everyone in Green Bay was like, he's old, but I think Capers is like, he's just there to advise, and the man has experience.
Specifically requested Dom Capers. People asked Dan Campbell, why did you bring Dom Capers onto your staff? And he goes, well, Aaron Glenn asked me to.
Really?
Yeah, because Aaron Glenn played for Dom Capers back in the day in Houston when he made his 3rd Pro Bowl.
So that is why we have Capers in. To help with this first-time DC. Yeah, Capers, all these years of experience, know some ins and outs. So we got the players that are like, this is my first time big, but we're bringing in assistants and like advisors.
It's an exciting assembly that we're seeing here.
It truly is.
Now, go ahead.
This is the most optimistic I've seen. The last time with Quinn, I was like, oh, Patriots, we're going to be like them, I think. We'll see. I don't know. He's got a bat. But this one is just like, there's multiple people that are exciting.
That Bob Quinn picture of him with the baseball bat is not going to age well, because his whole career was a swing and a miss.
Yeah, right. The guy that struck out was.
It's like, hey man, you're the general manager of a football team, and that's the easiest ball to just toss while you're sitting. But you're holding the baseball bat.
The bat, I was just like, what are you doing with the bat? Who's this for? Just. What are you intimidating people with it? Like, what are you? You better let the guy I want fall, or else I'm knocking out your car back window. Like, what are you doing with the bat, buddy?
Yeah, everyone's scared of the guy with the baseball bat and the haircut that's clearly been done by his mother.
Yeah, and he looked like he was what, $165? Get out of here.
Bob Quinn in that picture looks like the guy in your life that thinks he's super duper cool and respected and just tries to burn everyone the entire time, but everybody hates him and he knows that.
Yeah. He's like, I love to be hated. You hate it. You love to hate me. You're like, ugh.
It's like a less obnoxious George Costanza.
And he kind of was a George Costanza in the fact that we wanted to fire him, but boy, oh boy, would he not go away.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad and I would always watch Seinfeld. And I remember this about George. My dad was sitting there and he goes, ugh, I hate George. And then he looked at me and he goes, but I love to hate him. Like if it was his favorite character, he just needed that foil.
Yeah, I always loved Costanza.
Okay, so I want to ask you this about Jared Goff, because as I've mentioned, in 2017, 2018, he made the Pro Bowl. He put up 4,600 yards each year. 3,800 yards and then 4,600 yards, over 25 touchdowns and an over 100 passer rating. In 19 and 20, he fell off. His passer rating fell. His interceptions went up. His touchdowns fell. And his yards in 20 fell. Let me ask you this. Absolutely, he deserves some of the blame and some of the criticism that he is getting. But does he deserve all of it? Is it possible that Sean McVay, the offensive genius, was just figured out? People figured out the Wildcat. People figured out how to slow down Lamar Jackson. Is it possible that they just figured out Sean McVay's scheme?
That is 100% possible.
Was McVay asking Goff to do more than he could?
He might have, in 2018, that was his first, hey, new young hot guy. Hey, what's up, everybody? And I'm in my 30s and I got abs and I'm a coach, and it was weird.
Or I'm excited, guys. Someone's got to pull me off the field. I got a handler.
Yeah, pull me off field. I'm not your regular old coach. I'm like a coach that went to high school with his players. We're the same age, and it's strange that I yell at him. But
I smell like cologne and hair gel.
yeah. I still use Axe body spray.
You see that stubble? That's not a 5 o'clock shadow. That's an all the time shadow.
Yeah, because that was his first. Every time a first year, a new scheme comes in, it's always hot, and no one's like, "Well, we haven't seen this before." And then the next year, it's like, "Can they adjust?" And then the next year, it's like, "We figured it out. You haven't adjusted yet. What do you keep?" So yeah, Goff hits. Boom, high numbers. Did Goff keep those numbers up with his talent as teams were figuring out McVay? And then it just kept getting more and more figured out. But Goff kept his numbers up, not to, they started to fall because people knew what he's doing.
They had a top tier defense, but in 2016, Goff's rookie year, he only played 7 games. He did not win a game. That year, the team was 4-12. In 2017, they went 11-5 with Goff a full-time starter. 2018, they went 13-3 and made the Super Bowl with Goff a full-time starter. And then when they fall off in 2019 and 2020, Goff still a full-time starter. They went 9-7 both years.
Yeah.
He's never, outside of his rookie season, he's never had a losing year. Get ready, buddy.
Yeah, strap in, my man.
We're not in Los Angeles anymore.
That's right. You're in the north. Our White Walkers are Yoopers.
We're just a bunch of wildlings up here. Yeah. Our White Walkers are Yoopers. That's great.
But yeah, I do. Goff was executing what was asked of him.
Yeah.
And then in the past 2 years, was it him or was the scheme getting figured out?
I'm not
Stafford, I think, is going to be the test.
Yeah.
What does Stafford do over there? If Stafford blows it up, oh no. So honestly, if Stafford does mediocre, that's good for Goff.
And us.
If Stafford, blows up, crap, we need to draft a quarterback sooner than later.
Yeah. And then they don't re-sign him. Yeah, man. I'm everyone's saying the world's on fire because we have to have Jared Goff for our quarterback, and it's just not. He's
No,
not sexy. He's
I mean
boring.
he is sexy.
Oh, yeah. He's like Ryan Gosling if uh Ryan Gosling fought. You could see that I
Yeah.
had nothing there, and I was just looking at a picture of Goff, and I was like, I guess his face is a little more swollen than Ryan Gosling's.
Yeah, he's got
There's a
little,
bit more
yeah.
chisel to Gosling.
He's taking some hits, he's swelled up a little bit, but yeah, he's but yeah, Goff is not probably won't be as hot to watch, but
If Ryan Gosling was on the Mickey Mouse Club, which he was, I wonder how successful Jared Goff would have been on Nickelodeon's Wild and Crazy Kids.
yeah, he's winning all the challenges that involve throwing.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling can dance and sing and he can act, but have you seen this Goff kid over there on Nickelodeon? He's
Yeah.
just slinging biscuits through tires.
Yeah, looks like
literal
him.
biscuits.
Yeah, it looks the same, but he throws far. Yeah, I guess he's not as sexy to watch, but his injury history hardly has one.
And he's not Stafford tough. He's not built Stafford tough, but he is tough. I mean, this year alone, he had his thumb broken in week
still won a playoff game.
16, and then he couldn't play in week 17. And then McVay decided to start Wolford in the first playoff game, and he went out early with a neck injury. And then Goff came in with a broken thumb, pins in it, and won them a game, and then had a very good game against Green Bay, but it was the Rams defense who couldn't stop Green Bay. They had 188 yards against the Rams defense. So, I mean, I'll take Goff.
Yeah, if Goff can win a game with a broken thumb, you got to bring up what happens to Stafford every time he hurts his finger.
Mm-hmm.
We collapse.
Yep. And Stafford, too, has got so many more injuries.
A lot more injuries.
His neck.
His back, his neck, his hand, glove gate. I mean, all over the place. He's
his shoulder
and battered. Yeah, he can't take anymore. And if you're going to be playing the Lions, you take hits because the refs don't see it.
you wonder if we got like the maximum trade-in value before the belts and wheels start falling off of that Stafford truck.
It might. It's definitely a possibility. I would hate to see it, but I mean, I think this is a great deal.
You know, where he has all those injuries too that we're discussing, I'll tell you where he is just fine, and that is in his throwing arm. And he can move.
Yeah, he's got legs.
I will, before we get out of here, I want to say that this about Goff. He turns the ball over, yes, and he is streaky. He puts up some of the best games of his season against top-rated defenses, and then he gets shut down by top-rated defenses. So he was this year. There were 3 games where he threw over 45 passes. In week 13 against Arizona, he went 37 of 47 for 351 yards and a touchdown. In week 10 against Tampa Bay, who's the 18th ranked defense, he went 39 of 51 for 376 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And then week 2, he went 20 of 27. I'm sorry. The other one is a bad one. He went 35 of 61 against Miami in week 8 for 355 yards, but 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. So they asked him to throw. I mean, in those 3 games alone, he threw 150 times.
Throws a lot. Yeah, he's streaky, but maybe coming to the Lions, we're the team that could maybe fix his streakiness. You got Mark Brunell being like, "Hey, you're getting a little streaky there, buddy. Put in the backup quarterback. I'm going to talk to Goff for a couple drives here. I'm going to straighten.
Yeah, put in the rookie. We'll run a couple trick plays while I talk to Jared over here.
Yeah, let me talk to Jared. Jared, what's going on? Why are we streaky? What are you thinking about? We got to get it out. Tell me." And then he goes, "You're right. I never talked in LA."
You know what? I never talked in LA. You know what? What's interesting is that this is not the diamond people expect to get when they go to Jared.
That should be the title of this episode.
We went to Jared.
Yeah, we went to Jared.
That's it. Well, man, I feel like we might be off on a little bit of a break for the next coming weeks, unless there's another huge thing. But realistically, the offseason doesn't start till March 17th. So we will certainly be in touch, and go Lions.
Yeah, go Lions. What are your thoughts on a Super Bowl app?
Oh, you mean after this one?
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about the Super Bowl.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Let's talk about the present that is Patrick Mahomes, and potentially the past that is Tom Brady.
We're Lions fans. When do we get to talk about the Super Bowl?
Let's talk about two guys that look like the Kool-Aid Man and their red windbreakers in Andy Reid and Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
When Bruce Arians is on the sideline, it looks like he's connected to the devices in an ICU. What is that guy wearing? He's got the headset, the mic. It's up here. He wears it up here, and he's got the mask, and then the mask, the shield, and then the mask.
Yeah.
And then
he's
cheeks.
He died 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's the closest thing to a real life Bane. All right, buddy. Well, we'll talk next week then.
Great. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, love you. Bye.
All right, love you. Bye.